until Varian gets in the room.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's up. Good morning, everybody. We are live. Come on in. We are pouring coffee this morning.
Yeah.
Like I said in the description, still wiping the eye boogers out.
Oh, really?
So we can wake up this morning.
Today is one of those mornings again.
Yeah, I woke up and talked to the wife. She's home for a couple of weeks recuperating. She goes, "Oh, it's Thursday."
Yeah. Now you have to start doing that, right? Every day you wake up, you have to remind yourself what day it is.
Yeah.
I
have my alarm set for Thursdays and Sunday mornings, so that I'm not late. So that's how I know when the days of the week are. But they have been blending together. Monday went into Wednesday pretty fast.
Yeah, really did
this week. But I've been coloring like a madman.
Oh, I could. Yeah, me too. I'm halfway done with issue 3, and yeah, getting those pages flatted worth every penny. I swear.
I'm sure it is. I need to find me I need to find me a flatter or two. Actually, in order to
recommend
help
you
with that.
I can recommend to you the person that I use. I think she's really affordable and she's fast.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah, no, for real.
good, fast, and cheap. Pick 3. Yeah, that's ideal.
Because the colorist that I would love to have, I can't afford.
No. So, yeah. Not at the moment. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't even afford right now. I can't afford much of the colors. That's why I'm sitting here and I'm on my last page. I'm not going to say what page it was, but because I jump around. Colors. Like I used to do that with inking so that it looks there's a smooth transition all the way through the issue.
Well, also it gives you those small wins, when you do the easy pages first. So that it's too, like and then it's like you save the harder ones for last, but you got it doesn't feel like you're trudging through it because you have all that artwork already done. Yeah.
There's been a lot of I should have been doing that all along.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that with this. It's been a real learning experience. Jake's in the house waving hello. Hello, Jake.
Hey,
how you
Jake. Doing? I hope you got some sleep.
Russ says, "Ooh, bye boogers."
Yeah, really.
Trico says, "Woohoo! My favorite peeves back live." Oh, peeps. I'm sorry. Favorite peeps back live.
We try. Either way, we try.
Russ says, "I have a flatter." That's okay.
Yeah.
She's affordable and she's fast. Sounds like my ex-wife, LOL.
Right, yeah.
That's what Trico says. Genuine Comics says, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, Genuine Comics. Hope you're doing well. Jake says, "What the fuck is sleep?"
Come
on in, everyone. And it is a Thursday morning, the 22nd of July. 21st was yesterday. 22nd of July. We are still alive. 2021. Yes.
Every day above ground is a good day.
That's what they say. The earth hasn't quite shifted and the sun hasn't blasted its wares at us yet, so we're all good.
Exactly.
Come on in, everyone. There's coffee in the back, I think, and those Cheetos might be stale still, so I haven't replaced them in a long time. We are probably going to run the opening. Mr. Varian isn't quite in the office yet. I think he's still plugging in his computer and getting the hamsters on the wheel.
Yeah, waking everybody up.
Getting those hamsters on the wheel and going. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please go over there and do that. We're close.
Almost at 1,000. We're almost at 1,000. Come on, people. Get it together.
So close. And Varian can honestly use those super chats at the moment to pay for his bandwidth as we almost pressed 100,000 again on Tuesday. So,
I mean, really, it's like, who knew being successful would be just as much of a problem as not?
Yeah. Jake says 10 years since the terror attacks here. Time flies.
Yeah.
Sorry that we have to mark time by tragedy.
So, yeah, I know, right?
That's never any fun. Hey guys, 30 degrees here, heat wave. Glenn says that. Of course, that's in Celsius.
Yeah.
Here in
Fahrenheit. But I think it's 30 degrees is probably 90 over there.
Probably close to that, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been a little brutal over here too.
That's just a sunny day. Here, as long as the humidity is good, but I imagine over in England.
Oh no, we're getting
the air must be heavy.
Humidity. Yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Florida, but not as bad. But it's still gross.
The richness is in the house. Hello, breakfast peeps. Hello, richness.
Yeah, I heard
he says
you.
I subscribed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jake says shit's crazy. Yep.
Yeah, so I heard that Rich got his video booted off of YouTube yesterday. Rich, yeah.
The Incontessi Rich?
Yeah, that he was doing a piece for Lola that wasn't suitable for YouTube.
Oh, YouTube says, what is that? Is that a booty?
Yeah.
Holy crap! We can't have nipples on there. We're going to corrupt the youth.
Well, I heard it was something a little bit more than that. But
a little lower. Okay.
A little lower, a little full on.
You
know. So the video got pulled. We think.
That's what Rich.
Correct us if we're wrong, Rich.
He said I did a naughty pick.
Oh no!
Lol. Just it was more than that.
That's what I heard.
A lot more. Well,
naughty.
He Facebook firmly believes that art is not an excuse when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
that is absolutely ridiculous.
It says Rich wants to explain if he sends a link. Give me a second to get Varian in the house, just in case there's somebody that we're missing this morning, Rich, and I will probably send you that link. So we're still waiting on Varian.
Art is always an excuse.
That's not for Facebook, though.
I mean,
I've seen a couple of memes go by that have been crazy, bitter, crazy, mean. And it's like, wow, Facebook will allow that, but they won't allow this and this. Their algorithms.
Right. Yeah. Really, I mean, it's like, so I remember like Olivia, she has a problem posting to Facebook, that she kept getting flagged and stuff. So so she posts mostly to Instagram. And even then it's like she has to be, I mean, this is Olivia.
Yeah.
And how she's having a hard time posting.
Yeah. I know Tim Vigil has a rough time, or had a rough time with that. I think all of his groups are private anymore.
Yeah.
Just to try to keep that from happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, look, art should exist for art's sake. I mean, there's always going to be stuff out there that, it's like, I don't want to see, you don't want to see, but I'm really, really hesitant to say they shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, we should have an option on social media for us to have like 18 plus accounts. Because we were talking about how there are certain accounts on Twitter that they can actually do that. So if you're under 18, you can't access their feed. And
that would take parental guides, though, and parental guidance.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So so it's like, I would love to have had that. I would love to have that, so that it's like I wouldn't have to like be so uptight about what I post, or I could post up things that I want to post, but I know I can't.
I know it makes me sound old, but we seem to be getting into an era of non-parental responsibility.
Oh, for real.
Or if the parents can pass off that responsibility in any direction, there it goes.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's like when we say it takes a village, we don't mean that it's the village's responsibility to raise your kids. You still have to raise your kids.
Oh, no, I firmly believe that if your kid's acting up in the village, the kid needs to be
absolutely
disciplined and hauled back to the parents. I mean,
right. But, the parents still need to be the number one, in that kid's lives. I mean, it's not, it's like, it's the whole thing that I went through about yes, about the boobicorns, yes, about marking my stuff a mature readers, because I didn't want people to just like pick up my books and then pass them off to their kids like, oh, here. It's like, no, I want you to look through it. I want you to I want you to curate your child's experience. I want you to be involved, in what you're sharing with your children. Don't just pass stuff off.
Yep. Rich, you're in the house. I brought Rich Baroda in.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
and you can tell us about his misadventures on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I can. And all I see right now is the continuous loop of the coffee being poured.
Yeah.
We always pour coffee on Thursday morning until we run the opening.
Yeah, because it's still there. Am I on the screen? Oh, okay. All right.
You are live. You are live. Yes.
Well, we can hear you. Yeah, everybody can hear you.
Everybody can hear you. Everybody can hear you. Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Well,
unless you want to wait. Well, unless you want to wait until after we run the opening and then start the show with that story.
You know what? Let's do that. We'll start the show with that, because that was that was an interesting picture. I had a lot of fun with that, actually, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But okay, so whenever you're ready, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. So I'm ready if you want.
There you go. Jake says it takes an echo chamber to erase idiots.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Black Belt says need stickers that say nipples included.
Yeah, I know. Really.
More than nipples were included. Have either of you seen it? Have either of you seen it? No.
It would probably be safer if we didn't show it on the air either.
No, I wouldn't show it in the air. I mean, both of you are contacts of mine on social media. I can easily just take the picture and just send it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, we'll see it. We'll see it.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Also, we'll also see it in Lola's book when I finally get it. So.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's forgive me. I wasn't sure if you wanted to actually take a look at the forbidden fruit or whatnot. But by all means, whatever you want to do.
Sure, it's nothing we haven't already seen.
Yeah, I know.
But still, you wouldn't expect.
You should have seen the page I was inking yesterday.
Oh God! Yeah, well, the one thing that really got me was the conversation the two of you were having on inking. I did that for a long time over at Marvel, and I would love to talk about that if that's a possibility. If you guys have that, if you guys want to talk about that,
we'll have to make sure we do that. We should have an inking stream.
Yeah,
where we're all sitting there inking and talking about craft. That would be cool.
Well, yeah, because it's especially because yesterday on BrEaKfAsT so Hart Fisher was talking about how he learned how to use a brush because of Tim Vigil. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, though, it's like Tim Vigil was saying, because Tim Vigil is was he decided he was going to practice inking by finishing off some Bernie Wrightson pieces. Because let's set the bar that high, right? And
really,
for real. And he told Hart that it's like, look, you have to, as an artist, you have to master the brush. If you don't master the brush, you're not a real artist. I'm going, well, one, fuck you, Tim Vigil, and two, it's like, look, I understand what you're saying.
Well, it's
because I hate this whole real artist, fake artist discourse when it comes to just tools. It's like it's just another tool to learn. It doesn't make you even more or less of an artist.
Yep. You're really not an artist in inking, especially until you've mastered the Q-tip.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
If that's the case, then I completely suck because I haven't mastered anything Q-tip related at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I do have the Q-tips here, but not for inking. No.
Yeah. It's just to clear out the crap in my ears most of the time.
Right. Well, it's to clean out my pens that my pens that you're technically not supposed to be using for inking, but I do anyway.
No, that's fine. Well, you know what? One thing I have learned is that whatever you use, if it works, it works. That's really
exactly.
What you have to worry about.
Yep.
And
let's
for a short amount of time, I was something of a purist, but it's the truth. And if you decide that this is what you need to make it look good, then by all means do it. It's the end result that counts, not how you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, forgive me ignorance on that one.
Yep. Let's hold that thought. We're going to run the opening and then we'll jump back into it. Varian's having connection issues this morning, so I don't know how long it's going to be before he can get the hamsters on the wheel. So Hang on, here we go.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
How dare you?
And we're on. Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for watching. We deeply appreciate you. This is the BrEaKfAsT BuZz for the 22nd of July, 2021. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. I have been a longtime comics, alternative and independent comics creator, and have done just about everything in the direct market that you can imagine for many, many years. I retailed for over a decade. I've coordinated conventions for over a decade. I've did my own newspaper here locally in comics because I didn't want to deal with Diamond anymore for over a decade. So done a lot of stuff, been a lot of places. Real happy to be here on the Indie Volt Radio Network. Glad you're all here also. My co-host this morning is Daphne Lage. Daphne.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, my name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. And I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and I am known for my funny animal fantasy, Tall Tales, and also my medieval fantasy soap opera, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and eagleworks.com, link right there. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art.
And if this is your first time listening to us, Daphne is in her studio this morning, and she does have two parrots that make noise off camera. Yeah. So if you hear a smoke detector go off, it might not be yours.
Right. Yeah. Or if all of a sudden there's a garbage truck in your house, that's the parrot. So I apologize in advance.
And this morning, because he was foolish enough to offer to come on, we have Rich. Rich, introduce yourself.
Oh my goodness. I'm so shy. My name is Rich Parada. I started out as an inker at Marvel Comics in the mid-90s. Worked there for about 10 years on just about every title you could think of. And then a few years later, worked at DC Comics as an inker as well for about a couple of years until 2012. And in 2013, I branched off as an artist, like a penciler who inks his own work for numerous independent books. I've been working steady ever since and still do. And now I self-published my own title, which the Kickstarter for the second chapter of my graphic novel called The Incantessi is about to finish. And it's my second successful campaign. And I'm really excited to do it. I'm just as excited, if not more so, to be here with these two legends of comicdom right here in Canada.
Legends.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
You've both been there for a long time, and your longevity speaks volumes on how good you guys are. So, it is what it is. Just being honest.
When anybody ever mentions that, I always bring up the Richard Gere from An Officer and a Gentleman. I've got nowhere else to go.
For real, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. I don't know how to. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do anything else but this.
Yeah. Not just that, but once you hold that first book in your hand, that's all yours. That's when you kind of decide if you're going to be in this business for the rest of your life or not.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'd rather flip burgers.
There is nothing better in the world at that moment than when you see your name on a credit on a comic book.
Nothing. Yeah. Or when you have you catch somebody reading your stuff.
Yeah.
That's
me.
Even. Yeah, I know, right?
It's like I'll just wait over here and watch.
Only once so far. It only happened to me once.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful feeling. It is a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
Definitely is.
So yeah. Thank you for having me on here. Who else are we going to bring in? Are we going to bring in anybody else?
We have no idea.
Yeah, we got no idea.
Really?
Varian was supposed to be here with us. You were foolish enough to offer. So
I was. Yes, I was.
Anybody else want in the room? You can always PM me over on Facebook. I will send you a link if I like you.
What did we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about about just before we got on?
You had some misadventures on YouTube yesterday.
Yes, misadventures yesterday.
I drew. I offered Krista Grant for her book Lore to do some fan art, and I wanted to test the waters a little bit, just to like stretch myself out a little bit, because I usually don't do stuff like that. Not really. Not that I'm condoning it or condemning it, but I'm just like, all right, I want to try to see what happens if I do this certain thing. So I talked to Krista and I showed her what I was going to draw, and she was really cool with it. So I drew it live while she was there with us. She was there with me, and I asked her a bunch of questions about what was going on, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I drew a rather provocative picture of her character. Well, it really up there. There's no other way to put it, really. And once I drew
burn. He was drawing the burn.
I burned. Oh my god! I after I finished this, I'm like, if my very devout Catholic grandmother was still alive, she's going, "Boy, you going to hell? What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, "What is? You have to stop listening to the devil's music or whatever it might be." But yeah, I drew that picture. It came out pretty good. It came out very good, as a matter of fact. Krista enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. And everybody that I've happened to show that to were like, "Oh my god, this is in your head," or "Wow, when did you come up with this one?" And I'm just like, "Well, I just decided I wanted to do that, and I did." And the video was up there for maybe an hour at best until it was flagged and removed.
Yeah,
it was like snap, like. Gone. And I think I even lost a couple of subscribers as a result of that. I was like, "Well, we're not doing that again."
Ridiculous. I mean,
you lost a couple subscribers because of it? Did they send you nasty notes? How dare you draw that kind of thing?
No, I didn't even bother to look. I was just like, I had 146 and I was down to like 143. I'm like, "You bastards! What? Because of that?
Yeah.
Did that offend you that much? I mean, it was just so odd."
Now, here's the thing, though. Do you have your channel marked as, like,
above
I know
8?
it's like above 8. Yeah, because it's like YouTube only gives you two choices: that you're doing stuff for kids or you're not doing stuff for kids. So, do you have yours marked?
If I do that, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dad.
Well, no, because it's like my channel, I have it marked as not for kids, but there's also an additional option to restrict it to over 18. And I was just kind of curious if you had done that, whether they would have left the video up.
No, I was intending to, but I forgot because there were a couple of things I had to do during the day that it slipped my mind, and I'm like, "Oh, that could have possibly been the reason why." But just if and when I decide to do anything like that again, I'll either construct a separate channel for that one, or B, look for another platform to do it on altogether, and just keep my channel just open for whenever I do a live drawing or anything, which I think I'm probably going to do the most part, because I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, when I started working for Marvel, one of the things that you didn't want to do when you were working for Marvel is work in any type of adult entertainment type of comics, because then you become known as the porn comic guy. And it's very hard.
Which is weird. Yeah, which is weird because it's like you can't do two things at the same time. Like, we just recently got a book of Wally Wood's erotic artwork. And I know for a fact a lot of artists of his caliber did erotic artwork. I mean, even Carl Barks did erotic artwork. There's erotic duck artwork out there. Mm-hmm. He has an entire harem series. And and it's like, and I find it just ridiculous. It's like, oh, you can only do either one thing or the other. And because I also come across this thing at conventions where it's like, I can't have House of Bob on the same table I have Tall Tales on. Yeah. Or else people think they're both the same. Like, it never occurs to them that it might be something different.
Jake, your link is on Twitter. Scott, I did send you a link, so you're welcome to come aboard.
I think what it is that perhaps that it's just like maybe these companies don't trust the consumers to decipher which is which or something along those lines. They don't want to be associated with something along with that.
Really, it all comes down to angry moms.
You would know better than I would think. You know, far more about this than I would.
It all comes down to angry moms. They don't want to piss off moms.
Yeah.
They're not that concerned about the South anymore, because back when Marvel first did Black Panther, they were really afraid that they were going to tick off the South really hard. So they filled in the rest of Black Panther's mask, so he had a solid mask on, so that when he was on the cover, you couldn't tell he was an African.
Yeah,
because they were afraid that the book wouldn't sell in the South. But now it's all angry moms. They're afraid that people will be, here's a word that Daphne hates, triggered and complain.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
There's nothing like an angry mom mob. There's nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm certain of that. Well,
I ran into it a couple times when I was doing the newspaper, because I printed some strips. Yeah. I printed it. I used to print James Bond, because I love Bond, and the Bond adventure strip is top notch. I mean, just the best art you could ever imagine. So
it's James Bond.
But it's James Bond, and the women and it's England. It's not U.S. standards for
nudity, whatever.
Nudity, yeah, or whatever. So the women were topless a lot. So I had to go through and draw little bras on characters and emphasize the G straps. After the first angry mom let me know that was not that was not acceptable. Right. Well, I knew the topless part wasn't acceptable, but I let slide a photograph that was smaller than a postage stamp of especially when it was printed, of an erotic dancer that had pasties on. Mm-hmm. And apparently the mom that saw it couldn't distinguish that from I guess incredibly mutated areola. I have no idea.
Really?
But yeah, apparently she didn't want to get a magnifying glass out to take a closer look. But because she could see she could see the bottom of the boob. That was enough to throw her off. So she started threatening to get all of her other moms together if we didn't contain things.
I'm not a fan of any type of censorship at all.
I'm not either. But
visual expression, but I can understand why, because of the sheer volume of the audience that YouTube has. I guess I can understand that. So I mean, again, it was just, for me, it was just like a test run to see how comfortable I would feel doing something, because I've been wrestling with that a little bit, because there's a part of me that, you see, my character is female. She's decidedly female, and she's also based on a real human being, a close friend of mine. And the one thing that I never want to do for any of my female characters, really, or any of my characters, period, for that matter, I don't want to, for my book especially, I don't want to exploit them in any type of way that's going to seem a little raunchy or a little bit off color than what I usually do.
No, absolutely. If that's not your vibe, then it's like, then that's, that's completely your prerogative to not do that,
Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, we knew an artist. Yeah. Meanwhile, we knew an artist. I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm sure if you saw his artwork, you'd recognize it. I mean, he was doing jerk-off comics, and he told us once, I based the character off my daughter. And we're like going, oh, dirty old man. It's like,
why would you even admit something like that?
Yeah, he was so casual about it, and it was just like, holy shit, dude, that's not something you should be saying out loud.
No, you should not say that out about your child that you're doing a jerk.
Yes.
Probably shouldn't even be thinking it. Holy crap.
No. The answer is no. And I mean, if it gets to that point where I decide to do something along those lines, I'll probably just establish a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
But the point being is that for that particular title, no, that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'll never happen. Not on that end.
Right.
Cancel culture before social media.
But there's a place for stuff like that too. There's a place for all of that stuff where it can even be teasing. It could be sultry. It could be whatever the hell it is going to be. Otherwise, it doesn't have to be completely nude or like XXX or something along those lines.
Yeah, exactly.
For certain things that you do, there's a line. And I didn't want to cross it on my book, so I'll never do that on my book. But other times, I'll do it. It was fun. It was fun. I was like, hey, I remember this.
Art is art, Yeah.
It should be. That's really exactly what it is. Art should be art and should be left as such and judged as such.
That is very true.
We are currently joined by Jake Pfister. Jake,
who doesn't
introduce
sleep.
yourself. Who never sleeps. Russ never sleeps. Jake, introduce yourself.
It's in the middle of the afternoon. Hi there. My name is Jake Pfister. I'm a comics creator and slob and professional slacktivist on Twitter. I am
We
also
just lost Rich.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes his
Connection's bad. Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
I also dabble in media theory and comics theory and all that stuff. So if you got a question, I'll be happily entertaining you for like 5 to 10 hours on a TED Talk seminar style.
Oh, and if you catch my live stream from yesterday on my channel, you can actually get a taste of that when I had Jake on my channel. It was hella fun.
He was quoting books and everything. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. We almost did a pledge-a-thon at the end for viewers like you.
I can be serious at times. Come on, guys. BrEaKfAsT.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome.
not the usual nitwittery. That's why Varian and I tuned right in on it. So
yeah.
We're like, ooh, intellectual comic discussion. Let's listen in.
Right, yeah.
This would be great.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good show. Yeah.
Thank you.
We're
Yeah,
also joined by Varian Grant, who is probably not ready to come on the air yet since he hasn't turned his microphone on. So he's talking and we can't hear him. There he is.
Yeah. I see Scott Rosen says he'll come on today too.
I already sent him the link. He's not here yet. Scott, if you haven't gotten the link yet, let me know. I'll send it to you again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was the wrong link. I sent him over to another room. No, just kidding. That can't be wrong. He's probably having a hard time getting connected today too.
Yeah, I was having some issues here at home, but I believe it was just related to my whole now advanced router setup. I've got 2 gigabyte internet speed, and it's they brought out another modem. They're like, hey, yeah, here, add this to your modem. This is gonna expand your reach.
Does it look like? Do you have that router that looks like the crown of Sauron, where it has like all the antennas coming out?
No, I have a router. Yeah, that looks like a tailgate.
What the James Whale type Jacob's ladder goes.
Yeah, really.
I have one that looks like Cthulhu coming through the water.
Oh,
These
wow!
antennas are it's like this mouth, this maw opening up.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and then but then they bought me this little white box that says Mojo on it. It either says Mojo or Oro. I'm not sure which one, but so depending on which way you look at it, but it's supposed to expand my internet throughout the house. Now, I will admit, I get better internet Wi-Fi coverage throughout the house, but it also turned my house into a Wi-Fi hotspot.
Oh,
for them.
Nice. So but aren't they paying you to do that?
They take they take a little bit off my bill, but not enough to please me.
Oh.
The time for custom PCs are over. It's time for custom Wi-Fi's. I'm going to install Nixie tubes on mine.
Right.
The eye of my router is always watching you, Daphne.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, it's like I think that routers ending up looking like elder gods is a little too much on the nose.
What, like all the cat cables are like ether cables are just tentacles and shit? Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. Yep. Now we're going to bring onto the stream someone who hasn't been here in a long time, Mr. Rosema. Rosema.
Hello.
Hello, Rosema.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Varian.
The newly retired and independent.
Daphne.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Newly retired and busier than I've ever been.
Good.
I have to tell you, when the wife read your Facebook notice, she was giving me the look, and I said, "Nobody retires from this business, honey."
Yeah, for real. That's what I was thinking too. It's like, oh, retired. How cute.
Yeah, well, isn't he adorable? He thinks he's going to stop working.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine that any thought or any response I would get would be met with tinges of incredible disparaging and oh, you think you can leave? Oh, really?
Right, yeah. We're gonna drag you back in.
Nobody leaves. Nobody.
First thing I thought though is that explains why he hasn't sent me another Hero Bot Zero cover. God damn it.
Well, that's true. made only for non-retired people, I suppose.
Yeah, he's retired.
Exactly.
Retired.
Guys, it's not ink, it's tar, and it sucks you right back in.
Yeah, exactly.
I when he said he's retired, I was like, we'll see how this goes. Like it's like you only gonna sit at the table for 4 hours a day? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I may actually sleep in until like 6 a.m. Who knows? So, Varian, do we have an Al Pacino clip we can throw in here? Is it appropriate?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we need that clip. That's going to be.
I don't, but I did want to tell you guys, and
we have this one. Hang on, just a second here.
Drop the taco. Get in the car.
That's the closest.
Closest we got. I was, there's been a lot of people speeding to my neighborhood lately. Speeding. Yeah, they're doing like at least 45, 50 miles down the street. And I said someone's gonna get hurt. A pet, and the other problem is that we got a lot of like feral cats.
Oh yeah.
And hedgehogs.
Oh no, not the hedgehog.
Someone hit a hedgehog in my neighborhood.
Oh. Hey, they roll just like Sonic.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I came across one, and I hate roadkill pictures, but I got to show you guys what happens.
Don't show that.
Oh shit! No.
Oh God.
That's what happens when you hit a hedgehog, right there.
Oh,
you go back and collect those rings.
Wow.
Yeah. I like how everybody went from don't show it to laughter all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You're listening to the radio right now
for a few hours.
Yeah, it's like radio listeners, you had to be there.
There's a pile of rings on the ground. That's for our radio listeners.
It's like Cheerios for Bender.
Yeah.
Oh man. I've got some packages on the way, man. I'm excited.
Ooh.
I got some
packages.
Yeah. You know,
packages. Nothing. You got a semi heading your way next week.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I saw those.
We can openly talk about that now.
Those pics from the printer, those are awesome. I love those.
They're so exciting. I mean, because I used to work at a printer with a Heidelberg, and just seeing those actually kind of made me a little nostalgic for it, even though in the end it was a shit job anyway. But just being able to work around those big machines and see the work, and it's just very exciting.
Can mentally smell the ink.
Yeah,
nothing like it. Nothing like it.
It was cool.
That's. I think they're complaining about Rich's earlier talk. So
it's the bat phone. It's the bat phone variant. Better get it.
Yeah, that's Randy's phone actually. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, there we go. There's the tall tales.
Oh, look at that bundle.
Oh yeah,
boy, that looks awesome.
Yeah,
that back cover really pops. That blue, and I mean, it's just everything just pops on these things. If you show the one with Randy's book on it,
such a spam call. Oh. I like my comics bright anyway. That's that.
Yeah,
and
it's
Hero,
like
Hero
those
Bot's a bright
colors just
character.
come out, and it's almost like they're 3D, and it's just like wow.
Oh, and Daphne, that Tall Tales cover just looks awesome.
Yeah,
thank you. I did a lot of studying. John Buscema Conan covers.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And now these are there you got Hero Bot, Interceptor, Only Death Can Save Us, Oswald Chronicles, Hybrids, the Indie World Revolt monthly book, which is a lot smaller than the one you just paid for, folks. So don't worry.
Much smaller. And the one that you paid for is going out here in the next couple of days. I just finished the coloring job I had to get done, so everything's hitting the mail here pretty fast. I got Gemini mailers ought to be here today or tomorrow, and we'll be packing and shipping.
I'm looking forward to getting my copy.
All that's left is the packing and this. Oh, it's pretty. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what? Hold it up. Hold on. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Let me take that big. Boom.
Hold the phone.
Look at that.
Now, I actually, Randy, flip back.
Look at how thick.
Yeah,
boy. How many pages is that?
Flip back.
140 total.
140. Wow.
Here's a cover somebody might know. Yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Somebody out there might be familiar. Oh, and here's Russ's cover right there. Look at that.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
Just awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Now, Randy, flip back to that the Jetpack Girl cover.
Uh-huh.
The kind of like the Ginger Star cover, right?
Yeah.
Now, everyone look at that cover. Look at the one on the Revolt book. There's a difference.
Oh, yeah, there's a big difference.
Yeah, if you look at it, Randy, hold it back up again. So there we go. So I'm gonna kind of put the camp. So there's the one that's on the.
This was done by the great Chris Scalf, and one thing with Chris is he likes to retouch a lot of his work. And when I told him I wanted to use that on the regular monthly book, he's like, "Oh, let me touch that up just a little bit."
Yeah,
and did you take the hat off of her?
There's a lot more detail on it. There's a lot more going on.
He didn't take the hat off, but there's more detail. The colors are they might be a little bit richer in some cases.
A little deeper, a little deeper, a little more detailed. Yeah,
a bit more saturated.
Yeah. And but this version is how many pages, Randy? The version they're going
32.
They pick up off is 32. The one in your hand is 140.
It's 140. Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And not everything in this book is going to end up in the direct market book, because there's quite a few stories in here that aren't going to be reprinted anywhere else.
Right. And also the direct market book is going to have stories that don't appear in that. So it kind of switches over.
Yeah. In fact, there's a lot of people working on new stuff. So both of them will come in handy. There'll be very little crossover. The first book has a bit of it. Oh, who's this? In the world?
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
What is that stuff?
Oh, wow.
Holy crap.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite panels right there.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I see that they didn't moire it. That's good.
They didn't what?
They didn't moire it. The moire?
That there's no moire pattern.
Moire pattern.
Oh, yeah.
I call it
no,
moire.
I got these printed at Comics Wellspring, and I haven't had a bad print job from them yet. I did have them call up to tell me they had made a mistake while they were printing the book, and it would take me an extra day before I could pick it up. But they were real honest with me and very nice folks down there. Plus, they said, "Hey, we can print on this paper now."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
The hologram paper. Oh my gosh.
The first thing I thought is, Variant's gonna love this.
Yeah. I wish that was available during the campaign. That would have.
If I'd have known, I would have offered it. I really would have.
Yeah.
I would have offered it as an option, because it was print on demand. So if only 5 people ordered it, we still could have printed 5-6 books of it. So.
I love Kirby Cackle, Lage Cackle.
Yeah.
No, you guys excuse me for 1 minute. The white Uncle Phil will be right back.
All right.
Right. There you go. And there goes the tape.
He doesn't know how to mute his camera, folks.
Speaking of Ted Tired, I do have something on the share.
Look at that.
Oh, cool.
That's nice.
So this is hot off the drawing tablet. This is page 3 of a 6-page story. It will be featured in the latest anthology that I'll be working with in Nightbolt anthology, and it's called "In the Beat of the Night."
Oh,
and I'm hoping it to pop off, and I'll probably send in you the full story, because I had to chop it up to 2 parts.
Are you if I wanted to get the whole Ted Tired series, how many books would I have to pop around here to get it at this point?
I don't know. I got like a trough full of story ideas, but I would like to at least do, I don't know, like a collection someday. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah,
I'm looking at people. A lot of people putting out omnibuses.
That might be able to be arranged.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard Fisher putting out an omnibus, and
I do have like strip work. I have some strip work that I want to do, but and send in to you guys. But I don't know if I'm too late with the August release.
So the one that
Scott, for all our radio audience, Scott Rosema just tore off his clothes. No, just kidding.
Just the bottom half. That's all. I had to go put on a nicer looking shirt because I want to look good for my Daphne.
Oh, thank you.
We have a video clip for that.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
There you go. You don't have to worry about pants if you start the podcast without them.
yeah.
Thank God for just chest up video screens. Huh?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So now, where did Rich go?
He's having connection problems, Wi-Fi cut off. So
Gotcha.
he said he's working on it. He might be back a little bit later.
Right,
Gotcha.
yeah.
No, Randy, I was going to ask you the HeroBot cover I saw that got printed.
Mm-hmm.
Was that's not going to be that wasn't going to be my cover that I did for you, was it?
No, you're on number 2.
Oh, number 2. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, and you looking to get
you're on
cover?
issue number 2. I sent you a note. I said, anytime you want to do a cover, just send me some roughs.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I'm wide open for that. Anytime you want to do a story, let's work on one.
Yeah. No, right now though, even as I'm officially retired, which only means I'm going to be getting checks every month. That's all it really means. But the one of the great things that just happened is that I finally got a space in the big Gen Con show down in Indianapolis.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I'm preparing.
That's
busy
Gem.
this whole what's that?
Gen Con, not Gem City Con. That's Gen Con, the big
Gen
That's
Con,
the role playing
big
game.
show. Yeah.
Yeah. Huge show. I've been trying to get into it for close to 10 years now.
Wow.
So I think because of COVID, I hate to think that's a side effect of it, but they got thrown off from people wanting to hold over till 2022 and all that. So
that's exactly what's happening.
Everybody's been shaken up. So
yeah. But I've been preparing all kinds of fantasy art prints and stuff. The
stuff that you've been posting on Facebook is awesome. I mean,
thanks.
Cool. I love it.
Oh, and I've got probably another 10 or 12 of them to put out. So
Scott, wait until you see the book I'm putting out in September.
Oh, which one's that?
It's Calico of Shard.
Oh, that looks so cute.
I'm having so much fun writing this thing, and C. Michael Lanning is drawing it. Just unbelievable. A lot of fun. I can throw some stuff up here. Give me just a second.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see it.
But while you're doing that, Randy, I want to talk to you guys about something that was hysterical, funny. Got an email in from a person who wanted to tell us that they had found a new problem.
Fan mail from Flounder.
They discovered a new problem, and that I love it. I love to address problems here.
Always new problems.
Do we have to find problems? Can't we?
Have to find them.
Do we need to find them?
This one's beyond.
I've got a huge laundry list of problems.
Yes.
This one is beyond our.
I got 99. I got 99 problems.
This one is beyond our scope to help, because we all know that you can't fight City Hall, and in this case,
you can't piss on the steps.
Yeah,
but even then they'll arrest you for that.
So check this out, guys. You do a crowdfunding campaign,
right?
Everything is good and well. You've made some money. You've made about 15 grand.
Wow. Mm-hmm. When you start making that type of money, there's people you need to talk to.
There's a problem though. There's a problem. There's a problem. Now you live in Pennsylvania. You live in Pennsylvania. The only problem is that your comics are stored in Delaware.
Okay.
Oh, really? No.
Okay,
all right, because I know Delaware is a very strange thing.
When your house sits on the state line.
Oh, it's kind of like living in Newark. Who do you pay taxes
you
to?
sit on the state line between you have to sit on the state line between Pennsylvania and New York, not Delaware.
I believe it's Delaware. Let me go back and look at the email. But if it
has to do with taxes, it's probably Delaware.
His house sits on the state line, and the problem is he stores his comics in his shed, which is attached to his house. He says, "Yes, I do.
But
I pay
it's over the border."
Yeah, I do pay 2 taxes. So his neighbors are paying taxes to one, paying like electricity to one state, electricity, water, that type of stuff.
Right.
He pays it to another, but his mail goes to where his neighbors go to.
Wow, that's weird. Yeah.
So
he's
literally very unusual, because usually when their states have that, they make the borders follow the line of demarcation between yards, between property.
Right, I started looking into it last night.
He's literally living in wherever his mail goes, though. That's his state.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I started looking into it last night, and there are a lot of people that live in situations like that, where they purposely build on the state line so they could live in two different. I found a house in Michigan. God help them. They have a similar situation. Their house is mainly in Michigan, except for their garage, and most of their backyard is in Ohio, and it cuts straight through.
Well, see, now here's the question though. If his comics are stored in Delaware, does he pay Delaware taxes on the money he made on those comics?
That situation, he's getting hit twice for taxes now.
Oh, right. Wow!
Yeah,
well, it can't be Delaware then, because Delaware doesn't have any state income tax.
That's why a lot of companies register.
Their tax laws are really liberal up there.
That's why a lot of companies. That's why a lot of companies actually
they have a mailing address up there.
Yeah, they mail into they have mailing address. Let's see here, which is it's a beautiful thing. Let's see here.
Oh, hey, Hercules Pegasus, nice.
Yeah,
there we are.
Oh, look at that.
I would have coffee in it, but I haven't fixed it yet. Goodwill fly.
I always have Tigger.
That's like vintage merch.
Yeah, this is apparently from the one of the Walt Disney shows on ice they did. I guess.
Oh,
okay.
That's nice.
I love these little Goodwill finds you come across every so often.
Yeah.
Had to get it.
Probably a Chariot Zamboni mix then.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, Varian, what is your friend gonna do? Move his shed to the other side of the yard or what?
Yeah, because I guess they want to take advantage of the. So I think it's flipped. I think they live in Delaware, but their shed is in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, I'd move that shed then.
Yeah.
Move the shed. Move the shed.
Be like,
I hope you have a basement. Move the books to the basement.
And when I say shed, I'm actually simplifying it because he does run his business out of there.
It's probably a pole barn then, more like a pole barn.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's gonna have to re-pour that foundation and move that shed over just a little bit.
No,
hi neighbor, moving my business.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's like we have a thing here with Yonkers where if you even step foot in Yonkers, you have to pay Yonkers taxes.
That's exactly what I heard.
Could you imagine that? I'd make a big deal of it. Hey, we're leaving the state.
We're out of here. No,
we're selling that parcel of property that's in that other state. We're done.
Yeah, it's like because my sister used to work in Yonkers, and it was like a nightmare because she had to pay Yonkers taxes and New York City taxes on her stuff.
Wow.
Like, no.
We have friends that live down near the bottom of Michigan, and they say they know people that they make daily treks back and forth across the Indiana border to buy their cigarettes because the taxes are lower in Indiana for cigarettes versus Michigan.
Yeah, when we travel, especially south, when my wife was a smoker, she would get excited. Or if I go to a con without her, and she knew I was going south, she'd, hey, could you put me some cigarettes while you're down there? And it's like, you're gonna get me arrested, right? She's like, no, here's $200.
Yes, sneaking contraband across the border.
Yeah, get them on the way back so they're fresh.
The ninja says Yonkers got their own speed limit too.
So
maybe I wouldn't be surprised. Like they're like their own, like it's a weird setup they have just for Yonkers. It's like, I don't know.
We have an expressway here in Michigan called 696, and aka the Autobahn, and
which crosses here in Flint with I-69, which causes a lot of confusion.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Or no, that's around in the Lansing area, right after the 127. Yeah.
The
96 and 69. So there have been plenty of times that I've been driving towards Indiana when I meant to go towards Grand Rapids.
Well, the posted speed limit there. Apparently, it must have a question mark or something next to it because people take it as a suggestion. Like, maybe, yeah,
oh yeah,
70, maybe I'll do 70.
Yeah.
They say that the state's thinking about actually adding the dash-ish to every speed.
Look, it's like we all know that speed limits are fake, and it's all just a way to collect on-the-spot taxes anyway when they feel like it. So. It's not really about safety.
Yeah, it's like
they got to afford all those roundabouts up here.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. Yeah,
I'll tell you, I know exactly when it's BS. I remember a cop pulled me over, and he said I had just moved to a city called Livonia. And this is in 2003, 2004, and I moved. It was my first apartment, and this cop pulled me over. And he says, "Hey, I need your ID," and I gave him my ID and my registration, and he turned away while he was reading, and he pivoted like a dancer. He did a nice little pirouette. He turned like this, and he came back. Yeah, and he says, "How long have you lived out here?" And I'm like, a year and a half now. You live in Livonia? I'm like, yes, sir. And I think his next question was how.
What do you mean how?
Like
what do you mean how?
Like he wanted to ask how he wanted to. But...
In some cities, you would have been asked that. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up here in Michigan. Yeah.
And I was like,
by the police, probably.
Yeah. And
they probably wouldn't do it now because it would probably lead with a lawsuit.
Yeah. This is 2003, so it was like
2003. The whole different.
How did you get in Livonia?
Yeah,
exactly.
It was like it was a very interesting time living in Livonia. I remember I went to get a suit.
That's why Varian is still too afraid to go any farther north than Bay City.
I went to go get a suit made. It was a suit store, but they do tailoring there, and so the guy was. My body's built very funny. I have these big broad shoulders, but I'm short, so.
Right. It's like your legs are like you got the legs of a corgi, but
legs of a corgi.
my mother still blames me for dislocating her pelvis when I was born.
Oh my
god! So she's like, you did this to me.
She's never let it down since.
Yeah, never. I'm like, I'm not supposed to know, but this guy.
I wouldn't have this arthritis if it wasn't for you.
Yeah. Do I need to mute you, Rosemary? Mr. Rosemary, take the call. Let's see if we don't want to hear his
standards and practices. Also yelling at Mr. Rosemary for tearing his clothes off in front of the camera.
Exactly.
What ends up happening is
they're really going to have a lawsuit if I stand up. That's for sure.
The gentleman who owns a suit store is he's Middle Eastern, and he's helping me. He says, "Yeah, man." He gets the suit and everything, and I come back and I pick it up after about a week of waiting. He says, "Hey, listen, man." He shakes my hand and he pulls me in when he shakes my hand and puts his arm around my shoulders. He says, "Hey, man." He says, come back, definitely come back because, me and you guys are together out here. It's 99.9% out here." And I'm like, well, what? Like, he's holding me. I can't go anywhere. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's 99.9% out here. We got together, so come back, please give me business.
Melanin can drive you crazy sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is he talking about? 99.9%. What? Because he's holding me.
Right.
At this point, it's getting kind of romantic. and, like 99.9% what? Straight? Like, are we doing?
Or non-straight?
Yeah. What? Am I joining? Am I being initiated to a special club?
Yeah, what are we talking about here? Oh my
like,
God.
no speako de lingo. It's like, what?
He might have just really enjoyed making your suit because he doesn't deal with those kind of dimensions very often.
That could be
It's a
too.
challenge, yeah. It's a
This
challenge.
guy's been like an upside down triangle, which also leads to what I was just saying.
Did he ask you if you know President Obama?
Oh my
No,
goodness.
we didn't have President Obama yet.
Because everybody knows if you're black, you gotta know other famous black people. Remember
Oh
that?
yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say he might have given the tailor instructions that President Johnson gave to his tailor. He told him to stretch out the crotch a little bit because he didn't have enough breathing room down there.
Don't have a.
He's on tape. He's on tape with that at his tailor. It's hilarious.
Don't have
He was a straightforward Texan, and he was pretty straightforward when he was talking to his tailor.
Look, comfort is
Yes,
a must.
everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Comfort is everything.
I have a. We talk about, a lot of people don't know other blacks, but my name is Greek, and I found recently 2 other variants, and they're black. Now, I would like to think that they were named after me, but one's older than me. And I'm like, oh my God, is it a black name now?
Look, you gotta remember the Mediterranean. Look, the Mediterranean's right there. North Africa is right there. So it's like it's not, if you look at a map, it's not, it's not that stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
We've had that on the show before. The rest of the world is not like the United States. Sometimes people are only an hour away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything's an hour away in Europe.
Is
that right, Jake?
Oh, what now?
You step out your door and be in a whole other country.
Yeah.
Well, it sort of like depends. I can't speak for the Scandinavian countries because we all treat and talk and practically do the same kind of shit. You'll recognize easily when you're encountering foreigners.
Yeah. These people are foreign. Let me get out here.
What the fuck? Walking sheets around the street? What the fuck?
Right. Did you go outside? Usually they're wearing flip-flops or Crocs or something.
might have gone way too south.
Yeah.
Camel. What?
I want to also let everybody know at noon today. I'm from noon till 1:30. I'm going to be hosting a special Liberty open call where people can come in and they can discuss. It's not broadcast, so there's it's just going to be a room I'm going to create, and you're free to come in and discuss any Liberty things that you like to. If you're interested in Liberty, you're seeing those pictures, you're kind of like, hey.
Oh, so like an open house kind of?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to poke my nose in.
Open Zoom.
Yeah. It's gonna be a stream. I thought about doing Zoom. I have Zoom. I barely use. I only.
The open yard.
Stick to StreamYard. Stick to StreamYard.
Open yard.
StreamYard is way better.
Yeah, it's weird. I have Zoom because it was the first one out the gate. I was like, oh, I'll need this.
Glenn Fleming says if I fly 500 miles south, I'm over Paris. Randy won't have left Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. It's like, we drive, 6 hours here and maybe you're in Jersey.
Yeah. North. That might be going north, but going south, I'd end up probably just south of Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, if you flew 500 miles from here, you end up over Canada somewhere.
My arms would really be tired.
You beat me by 2 seconds, Randy. It's going to be my next line. I'm really tired.
By the way, too, I want to thank Daphne for giving me a very practical idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
So
You're welcome.
Well, you guys know I built a little mini PC just for streaming at my art table.
Right, yeah.
And I also bought, because of Jim Lee, I bought, and then I noticed Daphne does it too. I bought an overhead. I bought an overhead clip for my camera. Or not clip, but an overhead, arm for my camera. Well, but the problem is it hangs it upside down. Well, I said, oh man, I'm gonna have to go into OBS and open up a OBS stream and flip the camera. I'll make all these technical ways I'm going to do it. And then Daphne's like, well, just flip the camera.
Yeah.
Like it's screws on.
That's all I have to do.
And I'm like, oh. So here I am about to do all this technical stuff. And
for TVMA DLSD, you can say
yeah,
shit if you want to.
And I'm like, all I had to do was flip the camera, so I flipped it, and I'm like, oh, this works.
Well, you see, not for nothing though. I made the same mistake. I was trying to like figure out all this technical stuff and go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's all I had to do.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, what was I about to do? I was
yeah, this camera is upside down right now.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Just so so mine is like that, and I'm like, what was that? I was about to do some really ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Oh, you're just self-embarrassment, dude. It was an easy solution that was just readily available right there and then, and you had to overcomplicate it. So you're embarrassed on yourself.
Yeah, no,
I think that's a very human thing to do, like overthink shit.
Yeah, I was overthinking. Now I'm like, all I had to do was flip a switch.
Yeah, exactly. I just had to plug it in.
Yeah.
All I had to do was just doing like, okay, perfect.
Very excited for those comics to arrive, and I feel like the Joker. I want to clip that scene from Batman. We're taking him out a whole new door, and when Joker tells him about the factory, I'm gonna clip it and put it up.
Yeah, but it's like there was just something about seeing those photos.
Yeah,
that was just like very exciting.
Yeah.
How many issues did you get printed? Do we have coming of these? The Indie Revolt
of the monthly?
Yeah, how many copies got printed?
Randy, how many is it?
3,000.
3,000. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I haven't seen 3,000 comics since the 90s.
Well, I keep remembering back when we were doing Arrow 3.0 and we were printing August, and the numbers come in on number 2 so low. And I wanted to print it and couldn't handle the 3,000 mark. But that's where the price break was, and how much the per unit cost just leapt on number 2.
Oh God!
So we're having these offset print, and there is a price break at 3,000.
I have set up a webcam in the warehouse. You guys want me to take you there now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh,
Let's see the
I feel a joke
ladies and
coming
gentlemen,
in.
the Liberty Warehouse.
Yeah, let me take you guys there now to live what's going on there at the warehouse right now. There is some shipping going on. There we go. There we go. What's going on here?
Beautiful bats. SMIK all the way.
Where did you get all those wonderful toys?
6 million of those things! Yes, sir! Ship them all! We're gonna take them out a whole new door!
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels like.
That's how Randy acts at the warehouse. Ship them all! Ship them all!
Get them all out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, really, that's exactly how it feels.
And
just to tell everybody, listening and everything, you ain't seen nothing yet.
yeah. It's
hubba hubba hubba.
Yeah.
Who loves you?
Yeah. It's I'm excited though. I'm excited. A lot of big things happening. So
Big things.
Randy, another question for you from Indigo Radio. Came in last night, and it was expressly for Mr. Randy and Arrow.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm going to read it to him now. This is great. All right, yeah. Randy, and this is from Stevenson.
Randy.
STEVENSON. You know Stevenson, Randy?
No.
Okay.
That doesn't ring a bell. That doesn't mean I don't know who the person is.
No. Yeah. They said I have some old Arrow comics, and I'm wondering if you are considering creating any omnibuses and releasing the Arrow 4.0, or if you will do any legacy edition prints, maybe taking the books back into a newsprint or all black and white format. Have you ever considered running dual copies of a book, maybe one in color and one in black and white, to see which fans will prefer?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah. Excellent question.
That's from Stevenson.
Honestly, there's a lot of things in the works, and nothing that I've been able to really get to yet. But yes, there's going to be a Tales from the Anniverse omnibus.
Oh, there you go, Daphne.
Yeah,
because
really.
there's all sorts of little short stories that have been hanging around over the years and that have been printed in different places that we have the rights to, that I really want to put together into a book. I've got an entire box, and I mean it's a big box of production art and stuff that I've had since the 80s and 90s. Whenever I was doing Tales from the Anniversary, we have character sheets and everything that was done. There's some artwork by Susan that nobody has ever seen. There's a mischievous story, for example, that was printed in Flint Comics. That was by that was totally done by Susan. That I can almost promise you will be in the omnibus. There'll be a lot of other stories. Plus, I want to do some new material. There's some stories I want to finish off or leave off, little notes on. This is what the intention was with this story. This is where we were taking the character and that kind of thing. Because we've got notes and books of histories and all of that. We had while we were doing Tales, we had a pretty realized universe and timeline and things that we had done. And stuff that we wanted to do and include as we go along. In fact, Ralph's story here that he did, the Retro Ram story that's in the Revolt book, is part of something that Ralph and I had talked about literally decades ago. And when Ralph realized that his time on this earth was going to be limited, he really wanted to do that story. So he did that story, and we put it in the Revolt. He scripted it, awesome. Or he plotted it along with Stuart Kerr, and Stuart went through and finished the scripting on it after Ralph had passed. And Mark Bloodworth went through and did the layouts on it, and Jason Moore went through and did the finishes on it. And very, very proud to have that story in this book. And we've dedicated the Indiegogo book to Ralph, in the memory of Ralph, and because that's really where Arrow Comics 4.0 is restarting from.
Oh yeah.
But to answer your other questions, in fact, you might want to, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here with him. Jason Moore and I have been talking about continuing Arrow Comics and him taking the older logo and doing kind of legacy tributes to certain works, because he's got access to all of the dead material that has been printed. Really? And he wants to reprint that work along with some new material and bits of the dead from Arrow 2.0 and 3.0, and even continue that on. But Arrow was always meant to be a creator-owned imprint, and it's like an open commune. And when he actually asked if I had any beefs against him doing it. It's like, Jason, it's an open between everybody that was here. So I consider Ralph and Stuart and Scott and myself all to be part of Arrow Comics, and Jason to be part of that too. And if he wants to continue on with that, I want to help him out as much as possible. So you might see even more material coming out from Arrow using the older logo, and it'll be called, I don't think he's using the word legacy, but there's Arrow Classics, I believe he was going to use. But that again, that might be out of turn. That's all in the planning stages. It's all real iffy, and I hope he gets it underway. We always, especially with Ralph passing, we're realizing the shortness of time that all of us have here, and we want to do Arrow and keep that not just the imprint alive, but the spirit of the imprint itself going with to create our own properties and people in charge of their own works. And now that there's crowdfunding going the way that it is, there's no reason for Arrow not to exist. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think crowdfunding is really the key to making a lot of this stuff happen in a way that we could never have done before.
I really felt that way when Luke Stone approached me and asked if hybrids could be an Arrow book. I was a little hesitant at first, and then it's like, well, this is exactly what Arrow is meant for. So
this
needs to happen.
This is a question that might be a little bit of an overshoot or too ambitious, but as of like in the back of your mind, might there be someday a sort of like book about Arrow?
Or about
not a
Arrow
comic book, but more like a written account and a historical record.
Stuart, for our 30th anniversary, a couple of years back, Stuart put a book together that recounts Arrow 1 and 2, the first two versions of Arrow. And I wouldn't be against it because there's so much of that history that people don't realize and that people have kind of glossed over. We had a history over at arrowcomics.com that Scott Moore is currently in charge of. We're trying to get more material up on there, but Scott's time has been eaten up so much because he's growing his retail shop, Galaxy Comics, up there in Saginaw. He's growing that like crazy. In fact, he just bought right before the bug hit, he bought the other half of his building.
Oh, no kidding.
And he's literally like doubling the size of his, not doubling the size of his store, but doubling the size of his reach, and turning half of that building into his warehouse, because he's been buying collections and he's been storing stuff, and he's got a lot of stuff. He's got more stuff than he knows. What he doesn't really know exactly everything he's got. That's how much stuff he's got.
But he doing a lot of online sales.
Yeah, he does. He moves a lot of stuff online and has for a long time and does a lot of buying stuff. In fact, he a couple of months ago, he just bought out an entire store out of North Carolina. So
holy crap.
He went and bought that.
Bravo.
Well, he's kind of on the same level, I would think, as Dennis Barger, who goes around and buys a lot of and runs and store buyouts, that kind of thing.
No kidding.
So that's what awesome. He does. Yeah.
In fact, Dennis Barger has got. Oh my God, he's huge.
Dennis has got a huge theater, a multi-screen theater complex that he's been using as his main base of operations.
He's getting ready. He wants to open it very soon.
That would look
I hope
really
he does.
awesome. A movie theater that's converted into a comic book store.
Well, he's gonna still play movies there. He's gonna still play movies and have a comic store.
Nice.
Can't wait till this opens that.
Yeah, it's a 3-screen theater. He's going to keep one as a theater. He's going to keep one as a comic shop and the other one as his mail out place, because he does a lot of business through eBay and Amazon.
He's still going to call it. I think the working name for it was Xanadu.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, he likes
that. Kill me with it. Come on.
That's very cool.
Visit.
Guys, I got a question here for you, and you guys are going to like it, especially when I read the name, who it came from. Check this out. I'm new to making comics.
Okay.
Keep in mind, I'm new to making comics.
Mm-hmm. Poor soul.
And I've got a gripe with some of these breaking the comic books.
Okay.
I've read 3, and 2 of them spent chapters on who the authors are as people, not actual insight or direction on how to break in. Lola. that's from our indie princess Lola. She read Scott McCloud's book, which she found very insightful, and she's read some others, and she's like, what the hell is this? And I thought about it, and I told her, I said, you know, the problem is
this shit?
Some people are using those books to further themselves as creators, because they especially before the streaming, they were like, oh, well, I'll write a book, and in that book, I'm going to talk about how great I am and try to build a cult of fandom for myself.
Yeah, that whole personality. Yeah.
And imagine
a Jim Jones, Charles Manson kind of thing. Yeah,
because I know an artist who is not very good. But when I say not very good, I mean this: if I put a piece of paper in front of him and a piece of paper in front of J.D. Calderon, who does not draw, right, Daphne? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
JD's gonna be the better artist, I guarantee you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because this gentleman needs a light box and a lot of other stuff to make his art look as good as it does. Don't get me wrong; he is definitely skilled.
I mean, but the thing is, though, you can interview Greg Land at any time.
I was gonna say. Suddenly, there's a good dozen
Greg
artists.
Land comes on the show.
But is he a great renderer or a great artist?
What this artist did, though, and I use the term loosely, what this artist did was he developed a cult of following amongst creators, and he said, "Hey, you're good. You need to come to Comic-Con. Hey, you're good. You need to come to Comic-Con. Tell them I sent you. Tell them I brought you. Tell them I'm, And what happened was he was able to use that to convince the convention promoters that, look, these people, these are creators who are here to see me. You need to make sure that I get a table for free. Or, a nice. So they would get a corner, an additional table.
Respect the hustle.
Oh, I respect the hell out the hustle. Don't get me wrong. I was like, well played.
But I mean, I don't, yeah, exactly.
Well played. I can't hate the hustle. Wait till I try it.
But that's the thing, that it's like, respect the hustle, but at the same time, he has no real basis for it. So it's like he's gonna constantly have to hustle. Like there is no stopping, because that's how he's surviving, because he doesn't have anything else to run on.
Well, and
don't hate the game, hate the player.
Yeah, he's building the hustle for the sake of the hustle, which ultimately is a dead end, because
he doesn't have anything to offer outside.
I'll be right back, guys. Right back.
I think we're using the wrong term here too. It's not hustle, it's con.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if he doesn't really
have anything to offer.
I was just gonna say, if he doesn't have anything behind the hustle, then it's a con.
That's why it's really key to snoop around, to surf around, to take a couple days if you want to be in this business and learn the business. Maybe even more than a couple of days. I took a few months off back when I was doing that, just as I was shutting down the paper, because Varian kept telling me about all of these guys are up on YouTube talking about comics. You need to get up there and listen to them because we have these comic discussions. And it's like, dude, we can do this too. Why don't we set up a podcast and start running? Because there are you're going to find in this business people of every type, of every psyche, of every mentality. You're going to find the people who are begging to be the next Jim Jones or the next Charles Manson, and you have to be careful around those people. You have to know who they are and stay away from them. There should be nobody in this business that you look up to, especially modern, that you look up to as a god or even a demigod. Even though a lot of the mainstream used to try to build these people up, they're just people that have learned the business and have been in the business longer than you. You can get in the business, you can learn the business as and be as good or as well as they are. You might not be as talented or as skilled in a certain particular skill set, because that takes time, that takes learning, just like learning how to play a guitar or learning how to stretch any type of creative muscle. That takes time and practice and study and a little skill in order to be well at it. That's why they always tell you need to do a couple thousand pages before you even remotely think that you're competent. You know?
When I was in high school, I took karate lessons. And one of the big things that the instructor told me, who thankfully was a really great instructor, he said, don't imagine that you're going to be able to throw a good punch until you throw 1,000 bad ones. That's, he says, and that's the way to, that's the way to build what you're doing. When I was at a convention, God, I don't even say how long ago, but anyway, I had a space, at a table, and I was showing the work and all this. And I had a young guy come up to me, and he looked through my stuff, and he says, "Man, this is very cool. How do I get to do this?" And I thought he was talking about doing comics. And I started explaining a few things that I did, and he says, "Yeah, but how do I get to have a space behind a table like you've got?"
Well, you could just buy one.
That I said, well, you understand that my being behind this table isn't the point.
Yeah.
The point is, this is just a offshoot of what I do every day at home behind my drawing table.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, but this is so cool, all this talent." I said, "Yeah, but be where I'm at is only a result of doing what I'm telling you to do first." And it's like he didn't quite get it. He kept thinking, going to a convention and being heralded and, name on a banner.
Yeah, it's like, how do I become a rock star?
Yeah, exactly. You can always tell the ones that say, "Oh, well, I love being up on stage and I loved, well, you should love playing the guitar or playing the drums or something. That's what you should love."
Right. Yeah.
Because if you love that enough and you get good enough at it, then you naturally get on the stage. You know?
Yeah.
So
we were talking about somebody who before we got on the show that they said, oh, you know, I'm doing, you know, here's a screenplay and I'm going to make it into a comic because movies are hard to do and comics are easier. And I'm like, really now? Really?
Wow.
I'm having a crisis of confidence right now. I think I'm failing upwards.
What? Say it again.
Up.
That's a majority of the mainstream, it seems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's up. As long as you're going up, you're fine.
Oh no.
I mean, but the thing is, though, technically, that's kind of what we're talking about. You know, it's like we're technically failing upwards by getting all those bad pages out, by getting all those bad lines out until we get to the good one.
Yeah,
so
I'll show you
you're
one.
kind of building those pile of bodies you have to climb on top of.
Yeah, those thousand bad punches. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly
so
right.
That's
Comic book Black Belt says that repetition is the mother of perfection. Karate or art, never really perfect, but the direction is right.
Right. Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
So technically, we are all failing up. Ooh.
And we are looking at.
We're looking at another page of Ted Tired. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is this your stuff, Jake?
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine.
Oh, that's very cool.
And why are we looking at this?
Well, I'm pointing out, like, I haven't done a lot of work. Technically, this probably would fall into the category of my, like, at least below 100 pages of what I've done throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I see it is, like, I can't wait until I get over 1,000. Because if I keep failing like this upwards, man, I can't wait until
No, it's true.
Just, it's really just a matter of putting in the work and learning. Yeah. You know,
it's like, look, I've gotten to a point where it's like I'm chasing those highs. You know, I'm chasing those moments when things finally come together, and it's such a high for me when I realize it's happening. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like getting the stuff done and seeing it finished and enjoying the process along the way.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, that's always been the bane of at least my existence with doing comics, is that I've always been battling if doing the comics isn't as enjoyable as seeing them finished or getting them read or bought or whatever, then I'm off kilter. I'm not quite on the mark. So I think if somebody can really learn to enjoy the entire process from start to finish, even though you're going to have hiccups along the way, there's going to be, you know, those really tough things you're going to go through. But for the most part, you have to really love doing this stuff from top to bottom. And once if you get into that mode, then you're really, really set. You're really, you know, on the mark to do something nice.
I mean, Jake, it's like, look, like I said, I keep saying I've been doing this since 1992, but honestly, I can honestly say it wasn't until last year, that I can honestly say I started actually feeling as close to joy as I can doing this work. There's just something happened. Well, aside from you know a little global pandemic, you know, as a tweet, there's something that happened in my head this past 2 years, year and a half, 2 years of having to pretty much consolidate all my effort into this short amount of a time span, that something just clicked, and it's like, holy crap, I'm actually having fun with this. I'm actually enjoying myself.
Isn't that amazing?
It's weird. It's not that I didn't, you know, before, but it was more struggle than joy. Let's just put it that way. You know, getting through all those 1,000 pages that I posted up a picture of, like, this is what 1,000+ pages of artwork in a cabinet looks like.
Yeah. That was very cool to see that. I love that.
That was
Okay, real quick, guys.
Those are just the published ones.
Yeah,
Scott,
that's not counting all the artwork that I've done around it to get to those pages. Yeah.
Okay, guys, listen. I got to scoot. Susie's got to he's got to go get a kidney stone taken out. So.
Damn.
Should be okay. It's just I got to go take care of.
Before you do that, let me boast just a second, and show you what we were talking about earlier. This is the cover and one of the pages from Calico.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good colors.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Jake, thank you. That's I appreciate that. I really do.
Who did the coloring on that?
I did.
Oh, no kidding, Randy. Awesome.
I did. These are my characters, and C. Michael Lanning's art.
Yeah, that is so gonna pop on the printer.
I'm hoping it will. This is a tale of a little cat who ends up getting involved in a crazy situation, and at the end of the first issue, all of the troop that it's kind of a chase at the first issue is at the end of the book they fall off the edge of the world.
Oh, that's awesome.
At the end of the first issue.
It's a literal cliffhanger.
Oh, that's
literal.
Cool.
But it's Calico there, the young cat. There's young Lindy Jacks right there, who's a character I've done multiple stories on. He's an elf that likes to trade for stuff. He carries his collection with him in a pouch by his side. There's Rut here, who's a little fairy barbarian. who's a war-torn barbarian, a longtime warrior, female centaur. Here, the two of them don't get along at all. And then Virgilian, who's a wizened old wizard character.
I love it. Just love it.
And a lot of lot of great fantasy stuff going on, stuff that you don't see a lot of in comics at the moment. A lot of stuff that I want to do. There's flying snake dragons. There's ships flying through the air. There's all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
That's the way you got to have fantasy. The fantasy world has just got to be filled with all kinds of wonderful,
really.
Exactly.
You just got to run with it. Yeah.
No doubt.
And I caught myself about 10 pages in on coloring this going, I don't want to color anymore. I don't want to color anymore. And then it's like, well, I'm thinking to myself, shut the fuck up. You're doing what you love. God damn it. You're not working. You're coloring.
No, for real. Yeah.
It's not like it's actual.
You're not working retail.
Yeah. And then I'm almost done with this issue, and about 2 pages from next to the last page, I'm sitting there thinking, I think I figured out how to do this. and do it competently where I'm happy with it. So
okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Mr. Rosema has to leave.
Gotta go.
Folks. Scott, tell people where they can find you.
Over on Facebook, just look up Scott Rosema on Facebook. That's where you'll find most of what I'm doing and where I'm got stuff going. And I'm going to try and be back here a little more often, see if I can't do that. I should be able now that I'm retired. I obviously have free time. So,
okay. Exactly right.
Randy, we'll see you later. Jake,
thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
Be here.
See you later, Daphne.
Bye. Goodbye, sir.
Take care, everybody.
We'll see you.
Bye.
I'm going to kick him off the stream because I don't think he knows how to shut him. There he goes. He shut him.
In response to both of you, when it came to the whole process and stuff, it's the only thing that makes me happy because I'm chasing the high, but I'm chasing what I will call a click in the head. I probably talked about it before, but it's essentially when you have a problem, because I treat every story like a problem-solving thing, and I just try to line them up. But when I get the perfect arrangement for it, it goes in your head, and then suddenly you get this dopamine hit, oh yes, I finally did something great. For fuck's sake, finally, and then I move on. But I never enjoy the end result. I never enjoy the product for some reason.
Really? You're kind of in reverse. Yeah.
Wow.
It's not postpartum depression or the blues and all that stuff. That is a given, but in a sense, I don't get the fulfillment when I see things on print and all that stuff. It's only the process that I'm feeling most in the zone, most in love with the thing, because then we're sort of dancing, you and I, the product and I, of course. And then when we separate, it's some goes.
Right.
I'll try to rekindle that in another thing.
I get those in small spurts when you're writing and something actually clicks, or the character says something that you didn't expect while you're sitting there writing it out, and you're like, oh yeah, that character would definitely do this, and it develops the stories. You get those little small highs, but for me, it's going back and looking at what you've done a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 years later, and going back over it and dissecting it. That I find the joy in it, because you sit there and you go, that really worked, or that really stunk, and that needs to be changed, or I would have done this differently now. And because I was doing the newspaper, I was able to redraw a couple of the older short stories that I had done, and print in the paper. And that was, to me, that was the most learning, I think, that I've done, the most self-instruction almost, is taking these old stories and tearing them apart and then putting them back together again and redrawing them for the paper. That was a pure joy for me, because it was like you did it once and you got a chance again to do it right. You know what I mean?
In a sense, I probably have to engage more with that as I want to like train my editor eye a little bit more. Yeah. So trying to do that with a critical eye towards my own projects, like see what really were off with the newfound knowledge or like the experience that I've gotten. That certainly probably will remedy the whole trouble with like looking back at something and you just writhe in disgust.
well, you also have to grow your own personal skin. A thicker skin. You have to be able to look at a product and go, that was then, that was this, and I've grown as an artist, or grown in my craft so much that I would not do that now. I would do this completely different. I would do it like that. Or if you're lucky, and I only have maybe 2 or 3 products that I consider like this, where you look at it and you go, that was fucking awesome. That turned out really, really
it's
good.
Like you ever have those moments like, wow, I did that, you know? Those are
and they're usually in very short spurts, very short spurts, where it's like, man, that dialogue really worked. That was pretty genius. Oh, I wrote that. That's cool.
Well, because I'm going through something like that right now. I'm coloring my own Eagle Raven issue 3, and we're talking about artwork that was done probably like 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and I'm of the mindset that it's like I'd rather put my effort into drawing new issues than redoing old issues. I don't believe in that. I've seen way too many people waste a lot of time doing that. They do five versions of issue 1 when they could have had issue 5. They could have been up to issue 5 already.
Or how many people do you know that just sit there and redo the first issue over and over and over again, because they don't have the confidence to cut it loose and just let it sit on its own.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm coloring this artwork that, like I said, is about 15, 20 years old. And I'm really fighting the urge to redraw stuff. It's like, so I have to keep reminding myself, look, I don't draw like this anymore. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch it up a bit, just tweak it. But I have to respect the artist that I was back then and keep it moving. Or else, I'm going to end up in that trap where I'm just redrawing stuff, over and over and over again. And, it's like I kind of take like Dave Sim, he said something to the effect of fix it on the next page. Fix it on the next issue. Just keep it moving. And I've always kept that in my head. Keep it moving. That and Wally Woods don't reinvent the wheel. It's like, those are kind of like my 2 mantras that I keep thinking of, when I'm doing the work. Keep it moving, don't make it complicated. It's like you were talking about overthinking things. And it's like, don't overthink it, don't complicate it, just keep it moving. If it looks too weird, just go ahead and fix it, but don't redo anything. Because when I finally get to issue 6, that'll be my style that I'm working on now, and it'll look the way it's going to look, the way I want it now. But right now, I have to respect the older artwork and just get through it.
Is it respecting the artwork, or is it respecting the artist you were then? alongside with it?
It's both. It's both. To tell you the truth, yeah, I think it's respecting the artist I was then, because
it's probably close to the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't draw. I mean, it's like it's like especially nowadays the artwork that I've been working on now. I don't draw I don't kind of draw that way anymore. Actually, it's more like inking, especially in my inking. I'm really pushing myself to simplify my inking. So it's like I know that my artwork doesn't look like that anymore, but at the same time, it's like I said, I don't want to end up on a hamster wheel when I'm just redrawing things over and over and over again, because it's not going to be up to date no matter what I do, short of redrawing the whole thing. And I don't.
It's sort of like breaking it too.
What happened?
Because it's sort of like breaking it too, because you have like a consistent chain within one book, right? And it's released like 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Now, if you try to introduce something new, trying to do something, you might invoke your present stylized choices and your own shortcuts, and that could break the linearity of how it looks and consistency.
That's the thing that I'm trying to, you see, because that's really the thing that I'm tweaking in the old artwork, like trying to really clean it up so that the transition isn't as jarring from issue to issue until it gets to the new stuff. Right. Because like even the way I design the characters are a little different now. And again, it's like I'm going in and I'm trying to like get that consistency or get a feeling of consistency without it being jarring. I mean, Varian said that he noticed a big difference between issue 1 and issue 2, that he asked me what was the time difference, and for some reason I thought he was talking about like the actual time in the story, and he meant no, how long did I take between doing issue 1 and issue 2? And it's like, oh, probably about a year. And he was saying that he noticed a difference between the two issues, and which surprised me because I didn't see it as much. But then again, I'm on top of it all day, so maybe I wouldn't. But yeah, it's trying to, I guess, like trying to fake a consistency or trying to create a consistency with older artwork, so that when it gets to the new artwork, it's kind of like an ocean wave. I'm kind of like doing it like that, where it's like, you know, just trying to keep it, you know, you got that giant ocean and then it's like, it just like thins out on the shore, you know, I'm trying to make it like that, you know, so that by the time I get to the new stuff, people are kind of expecting it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, you know, that process.
I'm sort of like fixated on this whole ideation of treating it as is on how it looks like and how it feels like and all that stuff. It's not necessary for me to go back and redo things because I know the progress will come naturally just in due time when I've grown stuff. The thing is, all of the art will have some kind of datedness and look a little bit unrefined, but as soon as you start to like distill sort of the process and you start to develop, it will become something wholly different. And you can definitely tell
everything is evolution.
Yes. And I definitely look at the East and I see that the people there, they're doing work and they're like terrible in the start in their own way, but they grow. The industry will let them grow. They don't have to be like top-notch artists or whatever. They can still like have a space, and then they'll be developing the routine. They'll be developing the shortcuts, and they'll be developing their compositional thinking and all that stuff.
Going back to Dave Sim, I mean, all you have to do is look at those first issues of Cerebus, and then compare it to High Society, and it's like almost two different books.
It is. It's night and day.
Yeah,
night and day.
The only thing they share is the main character, and even the main character doesn't look right. It doesn't look the same.
It's like it's like the evolution is going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It's just part of being an artist.
Yeah.
Or even a cog in a wheel if you're working on the mainstream. You know, you're still going to evolve. You're going to get faster. You're going to get cheaper. You're going to get looser or whatever. You see that a lot with the workhorses that went through the system. As you see, their style will evolve. Kirby had 6 or 7 different stages in his career because it was so long.
Yeah. And that's why, like Wally Wood was such a huge influence on me because it's like I guess it's like he gave me permission to not be fussy. That it's like that it's okay to not be fussy.
Wally was kind of a curmudgeon. On the other hand, look at Alex Toth, who was really strict about how art should look and how you need to pair everything and scrape it right down to nothing. To just solid black and white.
Right.
And the genius the genius of his work in doing that and still maintaining a style, maintaining a storytelling sense that's just phenomenal. Because in his mind he was able, everybody's got their own system and their own way of doing stuff, but Wood was a lot of Wood's philosophy come out of one, his desperate need to hit deadlines. And 2, as he got older, the more he didn't give a fuck, and he just decided, well, you need to do this or do that, and here's screw these people, and these guys are done, and
Right. Yeah, but that's kind of like it's like because like the older I get, the more I need to not give a fuck.
Well, that's just growing old. You realize stuff ain't important.
To kind of like distill what I need to do to what I actually need to do.
Yes.
And I was kind of thinking about Lola's question where it's like she's talking about like, well, what, like she's thinking that the things that she's reading, that like too much of the artist's personality is getting in the way of her learning what she wants to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm kind of wondering about that because it's like, it's like there's a lot of art books I don't buy because there's too much theory. There's too much emphasis on theory as opposed to like actually showing me what to do.
Well, there's also a lot of narcissism wrapped in there as far as somebody just trying to espouse theory. It's very difficult on a lot of these books to get past their opinion and to the actual skill. And what they need to learn.
Like,
that's why you need to take it from multiple sources. And if you do find somebody that you think, oh, this guy's just full of himself, throw that book across the room, grab the next one.
Yeah.
Like,
because there was
go on.
Oh no, because there was like certain Loomis books, because we were talking about Loomis, yesterday. There's certain Loomis books I'm not interested in because he really goes into theory when all I want to do is see those grids. So I had to really pick and choose which Loomis books I was going to get because I don't want the theory, I want the grids. But then again, I'm a very visual person, so I'm kind of wondering if that has a lot to do with it too.
I've got like a mix of like both. I have my threshold or like pain threshold is really high when it comes to this stuff. So I love reading and at the same time consuming it on a visual basis.
Yeah.
But it's all about like picking and choosing what you're wanting to like improve on or modify on. And if there are like conveniences that will be shown visually to you, that is more helpful during that situation. And I would think that using art books too has sort of like been tricky. Because some art books are more designed to be coffee book tables rather than a actual instructional book. So,
Empyrean Vol goes, has anyone seen that Howard Chaykin interview where he refers to the insufferable Bern Hogarth?
Look, I cut my teeth on Bern Hogarth. So yeah, that was the first real like art book because JD gave me that book. And honestly, it's like it's not hyperbole when I say that Bern Hogarth changed my life.
Yeah.
That's one of those books.
Literally had to hunt down his light and shadow book just because you had to have it. Yeah.
When I think of Daphne and you guys have been together so long, and for some reason when I think of JD giving you that book, I imagine his little kid JD.
Practically,
giving little Daphne
that and his Guardian Wars. Those are the two, fundamentals.
Given this young Daphne and her petal whites, she's like, and for some reason, JD has the hat with the little
with the propeller
stand on top, a little propeller up top, and it's like, oh, I'm so young and little.
I like you.
Yeah. I can't stand
never underestimate flirting by literature.
Yeah.
Anatomically, I can't stand Bern Hogarth.
Why not?
It's too
I understand why though.
I like his Tarzan work, but I can't fucking stand the gestural composition on it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's very exaggerated, and yeah,
it's like,
so it's
form take.
A lot of his poses are like super classical. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and it doesn't like mesh well with the compositional shots that he makes because everything is shot from distance. Yeah. So every body move, all the movement is going to speak for the image, while the shots themselves are like taken from like afar. They're not close-ups. They're not from like a frog perspective or up. It's mostly just shot like I would say allegorically, it would be like shooting on a scene in like classical movies, and then you get like to the 60s, and then suddenly everyone is starting to concentrate on going for close-ups and all that shit.
Right. But you have to remember that that's the period that
that is exactly
it. Did that work in. Plus the strip work that he was doing was huge. If you ever get to see one of those original strips, you will be blown away by how large they are, and they were able to take an entire week on a Sunday strip. So you got art. Like Hal Foster's Prince Valiant and Alex Raymond's Flash Gordon, Bern Hogarth's Tarzan was exactly like that. And the camera was pulled back a lot on that on purpose because he had the room to do it. Very rarely did you go in for a close-up shot. And if he did, it was probably because he was tight on a deadline.
My cousin, first art book she got me was Bern Hogarth. It's the first art book she ever got. Actually, she bought me that for Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, what is this guy?" And that's my first exposure to him, and it was
But also that it's important. It's also too important to realize that there is no one master art book.
Oh no,
that it's like that's why it's you have shelves and shelves and shelves because there is no one book. It's like I completely know what you're talking about with Bern Hogarth. It's like his posing is extremely exaggerated and almost ridiculous looking. Like they're not really functional as poses. But the thing is that you combine it with Loomis, you combine it with Jack Ham, you combine it with
Jack Ham. Jack Ham. There's a name that you don't toss around.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah,
his landscape book is amazing.
I love his cartooning book.
When
I was a kid, that was a big influence on me as a kid.
Yeah, so it's like you need all these different books.
Yep.
To kind of like round out the information in your head, because there is no one art book to look at. Just like I guess when you're writing, there is no one book on writing.
And there is no one guru out there that's going to teach you everything that you need to know. Yeah. And you should never aspire to meet that big guru or that demigod in your head. Don't put people on those tall pedestals. Especially if they're still alive, because most 99% of the time they really don't deserve it.
Right.
This is going to sound like a greasy metaphor, and it refers to the talk that I had with Daphne yesterday too.
A greasy metaphor.
Yeah, it's a greasy metaphor because it's I treat like reading anything when it comes to art or like specifically comics. I got a source code and now I have a source engine as a metaphor, but I'm constantly modding that thing. So I take bits and pieces from information onto that and develop sort of like an own understanding of the thing. And I'm saying like I don't like Bern Hogarth's anatomy, but I do have the Light and Shadow book, which I pulled from immensely.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got like a tech. So there's like the technicalities, but there's also the theories and all that stuff that is meshed together, and they'll come out hopefully throughout my work later down the line, of course.
Yeah, because also it's like, so the books that Lola is reading to kind of like learn her way through this. I mean, one, it depends on what exactly she's looking for, because if she's looking for like a one size fits all thing, she's not going to find it, and unfortunately she's going to have to like dig through a lot of inane theory and
minutia
personality, and minutia to get to the information that she needs, and sometimes it's just going to be like just to get like one bit out of the whole thing, that she's just going to have to keep in her head and then combine it with everything else.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it should be. That's the way of the artist, is that they take their experiences, they take their skills and blend those together into a personal voice.
Yeah. When she'll understand why I have so many books. And they just keep going like, oh well, what's this guy got to say, or what's this young lady got to say? It's so much.
And you never know what you're going to learn from where either. That's
exactly,
cool thing.
Exactly. And especially with the amount of people that you have on the shows and they're talking about their experiences, and it's like every person is going to give her a gem that she can keep, that she keeps in her stash, that it's like, and then like one day it's all going to come together.
Not just that, but those books on the shelf are there for a reason. And every once in a while, 6 months later, 2 years later, 5 years later, you'll pick that book up and read it and glean entirely different things from it. So I've done that a lot with Eisner's storytelling books. That you'll go through and go, oh, I never realized that. That's an awesome point.
What's what's the weirdest reference book you own?
Oh, you don't
like if people were to look at it, they're like, why do you have this book?
Tokyo Sweet Gwendolyn.
I have a box of stuff nobody gets into except me, if that's what you mean.
It's like
that's hidden away way back in the corner somewhere. That's got all of my like hardcore porn and stuff in.
Information you get from anywhere, and sometimes you don't know where you're going to get it. And I think that this is probably the weirdest book that I own in my collection, because it's kind of like a little. It's not an obvious reference book. It's called The Handbook of Tyranny, and it's done by a group of architects, and they talk about like hostile architecture. They talk about the colors. I think this is, they break down the colors used in flags used by terrorist organizations and how it changed during the decades. It's like they talk about like countries. They talk about like free travel and how, depending on what country you're from, where you're actually allowed to travel to, depending on visa requirements and passports. And it's just like really, really like how people are controlled by certain things that we don't know is supposed to be controlling. And it's like, I have this book and it's like, I have no specific use for it, but I think about it a lot.
It could be useful for like court politics, like in your fantasy setting.
I don't know. Probably sometimes, like look at this. This is literally a blueprint of a slaughterhouse, of how a slaughterhouse is organized.
Interesting.
I mean, how random is that?
I have a book on crops.
Right.
I went to a store, Ollie's, and they have all these. They list them in like a reference or whatever books, and I'll look at that section all the time because they always got weapons. They always got books on like medieval weaponry and historical guns, which I have those too. But there was one on like it was like a farmer's book on like crops and how to determine like if you're getting the best quality crops and everything. And I'm like, I'm looking through the book and there's these. They zoom in on blades of grass, and it's showing you how determine healthy grass, or if this grass has been in, and I'm like, I might be able to use this. So at some point in 50 years, I might be able to use this book or something.
Look, there's even a chapter on how different buildings are demolished. How you would demolish different types of buildings and the amount of space you need to demolish them. It's just a strange book with all this weird information in it.
Suddenly it sounds real fascinating to me.
It would be a great Christmas gift.
Someone might get
go ahead.
Someone might get a hold of that book and decide to further their fake career as an architect.
Right.
It's amazing how base concepts are cut from a story due to being too wild or interfering with budget. Art books that deal with creature design are literal Bibles to me. Lucas, that's part of the fun of dealing with alternative and independent comics. You don't have to have a budget. You just have to have an imagination and the ability to put that on paper. So, and
Lucas,
convey that out to a reader. What?
I would recommend to Lucas Sketching from Imagination, Creatures and Animals by 3D Total. If you want like a really thick, small phone book size of just creature designs. It features around 100 artists with a span of like sketches and like very, very cool designs. The 3D Total series, the Sketching from Imagination, it's good, and they've got like social media contacts and everything in them if you like find an artist and then you want to like look for more.
Right. Yeah, I mean, on a similar vein, a book that I would also recommend is Afterman. It's all like super theoretical science fiction evolution, and it's just, again, it's just another way of thinking about things.
Yeah, another way of sparking that imagination.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this book is still in print. I'm pretty sure.
As we go out, Marv says, great post today about the comics printed. Awesome, spectacular news.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marv. Yes, it is. Thanks, we're going to, and it's just going to get crazier from here, folks. So stay tuned.
It really is.
Yeah. Don't miss that Liberty open house. I'm actually setting up the room as we speak. Excited about that.
Is that something you're going to be able to broadcast out to people?
No, I want to keep it. It's going to be not broadcast. It's going to be
It's too bad you can't run that on your channel or Liberty's channel just as a FAQ.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. I mean, I would run it.
You'd be surprised. Honestly, I think Liberty Distribution needs as much explanation as possible.
And it's a unique enough concept, especially considering how conditioned the retailers have been the last 30 years and dealing with diamond. Here's a whole different concept that you really need to wrap your head around that can actually make you money immediately. Mm-hmm. You spend a little, you get a lot back. You have that potential.
If the reason why is because I didn't want to do it. I wanted to create an open house because some people might come in there with a bit of fragile information or sensitive information they might not want to talk about. But I mean, they can also reach out to me afterwards. But
you should probably think about doing a Liberty introductory stream then.
Yeah, I could do something. I've done something like that in the past, but a new one. It's always nice to go out there, just like we do here. And, it's always good to go out and talk to people as much as you can about what you're doing.
I mean, really, I think like if you do like some kind of introductory video where maybe you show the warehouse, you kind of like give people an idea as to what Liberty does, because this is going to ramp up really, really fast, and people are going to want to know what exactly.
This is already the 22nd of July, so August is going to be a boom.
There's a video already on the page that of me in the warehouse. It's just a quick video. I was actually still on my cane at the time, and in the previous warehouse, and just putting comics up, and
like
the area that I
really like going through the process of like getting the books in, and it's like, okay, so what happens at this point? How do retailers contact you? How do you talk to retailers? Really like a real introductory, like almost an instructional video.
There's I've got some things, but this open house is it really is just to help people who might have questions about Liberty get in there and just they have questions. I'm open to answering them. There are
anybody out there interested, publishers or retailers, please take a look at the site www.ledg.us.
And I will. There's gonna be 2 of them today, so there's gonna be one that's gonna be from 12 to 1:30. And then another that I'll do later in the day, which is probably going to be about maybe like 6 to 7:30 or 6, maybe a little bit later for people after work who want to get on and they may have questions. But that's it. So.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah, that looks.
Look at that, Marv. Look at that. Look at this. Boom.
What's that? Oh yeah.
So awesome.
Those it's nice and vibrant.
Is that all the covers? That's all the covers. Yeah.
It's Well Keeper there.
I'll go back to that. Well Keeper, God's Hand.
Yeah.
Is that tall? That's Tall Tales.
Yeah.
What the Tall Tales?
Children of the Interceptor, Herobot, Oswald Chronicles.
Only Death Can Save Us.
Yeah.
The hybrids. Yep. Lots happening, folks.
Lots happening.
I'm terrified. I'm really excited. I passed terrified months ago, because everyone else doesn't know we've been working on this for months. So almost a year now, Randy.
No, it hasn't been that long.
Has it not been a year?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah. It does. But I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like looking at the Revolt book going, man, I've had these here for months. No, it's only been a week.
Yeah.
It seems like we've been working on.
I got to get these things mailed out right away.
I've been working on Liberty for a very
You've been working on Liberty for years.
Yeah, yes. But I'm talking about this particular step that we're taking. It seems like has it at least been 6 months?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep.
I
think we were probably talking about it about 8 months out. Then it became real about 6 months out. Then we started panicking about 2 months out. Yeah.
And people have noticed. I mean, Nina Lanning was one of the first to kind of figure out something was going on. And she said, I don't know what's going on, but something is. And it's going to be big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? I thought we were being super discreet. But she said, she's watched things and she's like, well, this is happening. Wait a minute, something's going on.
And even us talking about it shows you how excited we are and how eked we are. And just, we can't quite say that yet.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's been times where... There's been times where
my pets, patience.
There's been times when we stifled a laugh because we knew something, and someone will say something. We're like,
yeah, exactly.
They'll be able to go back the last 6 months and catch that and different shows. Oh, look at that! They said this, and this is what's happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
so and so smiling like he's got
the Sixth Sense, and you just watch the movie over again, catching all the little bits. So it's gonna be like that. Yeah.
there are some Easter eggs planted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was really excited about it. So now you guys know why I said I was shopping for a forklift and a pallet jack because
well, you showed your warehouse the week before that.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, the warehouse showed that. So there's growth, and wait till you guys see other stuff that's going on, and not just with Liberty. There's stuff going over at IndieVolt here at IndieVolt that which is growing. So there's going to be some movement on that front that people are going to see. I'm excited because I stand to benefit.
And we have the award show.
Absolutely.
We have the award show coming up in September as well. August is going to be a big month. September is going to be a big month. Right. It's just going to blow up from there. It's going to be crazy. It'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
But yeah, I'll let you guys close the show out, and so I can.
Jake, tell people how they can find you.
Let me just share the screen here so I can show the projects too. Hold the phone. I actually need to. I need to like not share my feed on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Let's show. No, go ahead, put it up. I'll hold off until you tell me.
Right.
All right, now it's safe now. It's safe now.
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah, we don't need to put out hentai this early in the morning.
No. That's the great fear. So my name is Jake Twister. You can find me on Twitter at JTVEster. I am currently with the CG UK bargain bin group involved in the Twisted Fairy Tales campaign.
It's a comic missing
anthology. The Red Riding Hood is missing a tooth. Who knows what happened there? We're currently 9 days left of the campaign, but we would really like if you could check it out and just support or spread the word. We got excellent. We got an excellent hardback cover edition, which will be packing around 80 pages with 14 stories from all over Europe for the most part. It'll include artists that you might have heard of and unknown artists. It will be featuring Kami Mark. It'll be featuring Bristolian Dave. It'll be featuring Aria Black of Talus. It'll be featuring myself. It'll be featuring, I don't know, the Rabbi from Other Planet. He'll be here too. So we got a couple of like samples here, but I'm just going to scroll past by right to mine because I want to show off my skills. So this is the page. Currently, I'll probably like touch upon it a little bit. And for the upcoming 9-volt manga, I will be doing a Detective Ted story, which is called In the Beat of the Night, because I like to parody old song titles. And it will be featuring Ted, who decides to take a couple of gals into a club for some reason, undisclosed or disclosed. I don't know. But you can check out right now on Lulu.com the 9-volt anthology that we did last time, which is called Cosmic Unknown. So if you're interested in around 120 pages of black and white colors, like God intended, 9 stories for $6.74. Just go check out Lulu.com and type 9-volt comics issue number 3. Arranged by Peter Seckler, Imperium Wool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Daphne, tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, sure. You can head over to my main portfolio site at eagleworks.com, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you are into seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And I also post to YouTube I'm trying to keep at weekly art live streams, mostly on Wednesdays. You can also read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the links back to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. And speaking of Liberty Distribution, if you want to see Ego Raven in your local comic book shop, ask them nicely and tell them to go order copies from Liberty Entertainment Distribution. So I'm sending out more books. I'm going to be sending out more books. I know I keep saying that, but I am sending out more books to Varian. So yes, if you want to see Ego Raven in your local comic book shop, that's the place to go.
Awesome.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We want to remind everybody of our sponsor, Gemini Comic Supply, especially if you do Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign, you need to mail that stuff out. Everybody knows Gemini mailers is the way to do that. And if you go over to their site at Gemini Comic Supply right now, whatever you order on your way out the door, use that coupon code VOLT10, VOLT10, and you will get 10% off of your order on us and the kind folks over at Gemini Comic Supply.
Sounds good to me. I'm excited about that too. People have been using the code. They tell me, they save money and they've been very happy with it. So listen, anything Indievolt can do to help people better their production, make sure those books get shipped out. That's what you want to do. We're excited to bring that to people. So yeah,
and we are fortunate to be the only ones that have a code like that with Gemini. And Gemini is such a widely used product that you want to go over there and use it. Use the code Volt10 on your way out.
VOLT10. Yep. VOLT10. Saves us some money.
Yeah.
Save everybody. Save us all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. We want to remind everybody that Varian has those 2 shows coming up. If you have questions about Liberty Distribution, you go over to his Facebook page and get those links. I'm sure he'll be happy to talk to you at those times.
Yep.
Then Saturday, Pitches Be Crazy, right?
Yep. Pitches Be Crazy Saturday.
It's about 1:30.
Yep. Well, the only independent, the only comic show where the game show, especially our show where the crowdfunding show where the host opens his wallet and shuts his mouth. So that's what we're calling it now.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Win up to $50 on your campaign. You're gonna win $50 guaranteed if you win. And we're doing some things where we're gonna be starting to give out other things, Randy. So not just like the $50, you'll win $50 and maybe you'll win a case of Geminis. Maybe you'll win, some different things that we've got people coming on. We got sponsors for Indie Volt who are, they're more than willing to toss in things. You might win some Copics. You might win some, you might win some Art Loft stuff. Who knows? So, yeah. Yeah.
Pitches Be Crazy every Saturday at 1:30.
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, 2:30.
And then later that day, Lola hosts Backer Shots on her channel, Lola the Indie Princess, where they have guests on and they talk about their campaigns, and every new backer that comes on, somebody up there takes a shot. So much drinking and frivolity happens. Then
and at this Saturday, it's going to be, their guest is going to be Hart Fisher.
Hart Fisher.
Hart Fisher. And
the original Indie Devil.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a wild show because yesterday was a really good show between him and Rabbi from Another Planet. So yeah. So Backer Shots is going to be even more so.
I knew that was going to be a wild show. It'd either be incredibly good or very oil and vinegar-ish. So
no, I mean it was smooth sailing. We just all vibed yesterday.
They're both awesome great people, and sometimes you don't know. Especially with somebody like Hart who doesn't have much of a filter. So, but no, and isn't afraid to speak his mind.
Yeah, it was a great show yesterday. So if you missed Geekgasm last night, check it out. It was a great show.
That's on Geekgasm's on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Sunday, I run a show called Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this week we have Roland Mann coming on. Roland's bringing on another guest to talk about his campaign that he's currently running, which is Silverline Team Up and Bear. Combination as a flip book.
Get me a bear.
And then also popping in, he's promised to stop by as Peter Palmiotti. So
cool.
Hey,
we should have a full house and an interesting discussion on Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. On Sunday Eastern Standard Time. Then on Tuesday we have the Livewire program that Vari and myself do. We bring other people in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And then again, Geekgasm at 9 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern Standard Time. So adjust your clocks accordingly and enjoy some Indie Volt goodness. Do we have radio numbers, Brian?
Yeah, 77,404. Yep.
We appreciate everybody out there spending their day, their afternoon, or their evening with us. Deeply appreciate it.
Who's the number one country?
Right now we have Mexico.
Do we still have China?
Nah, I don't see them on the list now.
We were talking about naughty bits earlier, but
that's true.
They probably pulled that plug.
I want to talk about ghosts.
Yeah,
I do. Ghost, time travel, and naughty bits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else, Varian? Don't forget our award show, September 18th from Dave & Buster's. We'll be broadcasting that live as well. Varian and myself are going to be at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con with Mark Hodges, and anybody else that wants to stop by, we will hopefully we will be broadcasting Sunday Funnies from the Grand Rapids Comic-Con on that weekend. That's I think the 17th and 18th of August.
No,
the 27th, 28th.
No. You mean?
Do I hear I'll have to look on the calendar.
Grand Rapids Comic-Con?
Yeah.
It's the August 13th to the 14th.
I was wrong. August 13th and 14th.
Yeah. 13th to 15th. I'm sorry. 13th
through the 15th. The 15th, we should be broadcasting Sunday Funnies from the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. We'll see who we can get in front of the microphone.
Yeah. Excited to be there. We'll see you guys there.
Arrow Comics will be there represented. Liberty will be represented. We'll it'll be great. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm actually right now. That's one of my new stressors is that I'm trying to make sure everything's set up for that correctly. I'm actually testing microphones as we speak. That's it for me. Find me KYD_VU on Twitter. Variant Grant elsewhere. LEDG.us. Helping you get your indie comics in stores as well as indievote.com. Lots of stuff happening, guys. I'm very busy, man. Very busy. I got many things happening. I got many things coming out. I'm busy, man. I'm here, there, everywhere. If you tell me where that reference is from, I'll give you something.
I'll give you a billion points. A billion points.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate it.
Give your tagline, Varian.
Oh, yeah. Try to leave the industry a better place than you found it.
Yeah. And buy independent comics, especially ours, especially now.
Marv says his campaign ends on that weekend, probably the weekend of Grand Rapids Con. If you haven't seen Marvy's campaign, go over and look at The Sin Killer over on Indiegogo.
See you soon, everyone.
We'll see you soon, everybody. I'm taking us out. Here we go. Here we go. All right, everybody, take care. Stay safe. See ya.
Bye.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked?